everyone. This is Christopher and Tom, and this is the Time Shifters Podcast Time Hop Edition, where we review and discuss a current or upcoming release, usually an independent film. Today, we are going to discuss a 2025 film called Healing Towers.
I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me.
Are you ready to heal?
I look after the most underrepresented patients.
Moving here, I feel very safe.
You are in a safe zone.
These are all the men and women who have gone missing in the last decade.
I'm not going anywhere until I find my daughter.
This could be life and death.
You know, it's funny. I remember living in Healing Towers, but I don't remember anything about my treatment.
The medicine that I gave you makes you dream. The line between
Dreams and reality gets blurrier as the therapy intensifies.
you are in a dream and you can do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want.
Yes, that is the therapy. This dream will heal you. You must hurt her like she hurt you. Do what you want to her. Get even!
This is my daughter's. Where is she? Where's Casey?
You're sick!
Nope. I'm not. I'm a healer. This is how we bring peace to troubled minds.
Tom, how you doing today?
Oh, just fine. And isn't it nice to get a time hop in so close to Easter?
Very funny. Well, yeah, it'll be a little well past Easter by the time everybody hears this, by about a week or more, but, you know, yeah, sure.
Trying to get the puns in where I can.
Healing Towers did come out on digital video on demand April 22nd, so it is available now if you want to go and look for it. In the film, a detective's search for his missing daughter uncovers a psychiatrist's supposed dream therapy treatment, where patients are tricked to enact their darkest fantasies on innocent victims. It stars Andrew Keegan, William McNamara, and Nikki Lee, and it was written and directed by Suja Paul. No actors I was familiar with on sight or even by name, although I thought William McNamara, who plays Dr. Healing, seemed very familiar, but I looked on his filmography, I couldn't place anything.
That was a thing I was struggling with a bit. The main male actors all had a very similar look and vibe to them. So there were times I was watching the film and I'm like, I'm not entirely sure who's talking right now.
I kind of felt the same way a little bit about the female actors.
That too, yeah. Everyone was very generic.
At least two of the female actors were both beautiful blonde women, and it was like, wait, which one's this?
Right. Yeah, they keep saying names of characters, and I'm like, I'm not sure who you're talking about.
I found this film to have a really great premise, but there was a few missteps in the script and what I would consider some independent filmmaking errors.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I found it, the best I could describe was uneven. The premise behind this doctor who seems to actually be trying to do what he thinks of as healing, but it involves murdering other people too that don't seem to have a problem. So I'm not sure where his head's at.
Well, it's obvious he's insane.
Sure, yeah, I got that.
What drove him to that, I think, could be discussed and debated.
Yeah.
Is this a film about, does it fall on his mom had mental issues, so now the son has mental issues? Was it the son driven a bit insane by watching his mom being treated, for these mental issues and the way that they were treating him? And that's another thing, too, where I feel like this film felt a little out of place because what they were showing for the treatment of his mother was like 1950s kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I guess Dr. Healer was old enough, but it seems a little too archaic for the time in which we are and our characters are.
Yeah.
They're showing his mom being treated like electroshock therapy.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that just seems very 1940s, 1950s, and I'm looking at this actor and this character, and I'm thinking, well, when he's that age, wouldn't it be more like the 70s?
Yeah, I mean, if this is supposed to be set currently, you would think that'd be more the time that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem like that old a guy. Like,
no, exactly. And I don't know. And maybe were they still doing that? I don't know the real history of a lot of mental health treatments.
Right.
Maybe they were still doing this stuff in the 70s. I can imagine maybe in some parts of the country they were. So maybe, but yeah, it just felt a little questionable whether this is what we'd really be seeing.
The notion, I would get the notion that he wants to go into psychotherapy to do it differently. And I understand he may have an axe to grind somehow, but I don't know how he makes the leap between doing his psychotherapy and the method he's chosen to do that. Like, where do the others come in on this? If he were taking it out on the psychotherapy industry, I might have I could see some of that, but this is just chaos.
Taking a step too far.
Yeah.
We get a brief scene where he, as a young teenager or young adult, kind of gets his revenge on the doctor that he views as hurting his mom. Mm-hmm. And I guess in that moment he has this like cathartic, I feel so much better now that I've exacted this revenge and I can use this in the future to, but yeah, how you take that step into, and now I'm going to use innocent people.
Yeah, you're creating stand-ins for these, and you're trying to convince the people you're treating that the stand-in is the source of your pain that you need to now exact revenge upon in order to heal, quote unquote. I'm like, but why? Why are you not trying to get the actual people then?
Right. Yeah. It's just a it's just a leap.
It is.
It like I said, it's a kind of a cool and dark, and for a horror film, great idea.
Sure.
For like a psychological horror film, it's a great idea. But you need some explanation besides just, well, he's crazy.
Yeah, and despite decent production value, like the lighting, camera, locations, they were all pretty good.
Not too bad. There was a few, again, like I was saying, independent film missteps. The quote-unquote jail cell.
Yeah.
This might be more on the director. If you can't have iron bars, try to get your actors to at least act like they're iron bars.
Right, yeah.
These guys were whipping this thing back and forth like they were wood dowels, which they were.
Yeah, you get that stuff. Again, low budget, independent film. I give them a little grace here and there, especially given, again, it looked decent, but it was missing something. It just, like I said, it was a little chaotic. It was a little all over the place. And this good premise didn't quite coalesce into something that I could really sink my teeth into. It was more, yep, it's on. I wasn't sinking into it.
This was probably one of the most well-shot independent films we've reviewed in a long time anyway.
Yeah.
You're right. It did. The settings, the camera work and everything, that was really good. I just, the director, I think, if he acted also as like cinematographer, or if he had a cinematographer working with him, they did an excellent job at that. It's getting your actors to do what they need to do. One actor in particular, Nurse Grace, which is very important for her to convey that she is doing medical procedures never does anything that doesn't look like she's a kid doing pretend playtime. Even like the hypodermic needle, which is used several times, and there's a few times where she's like literally just kind of laying it against someone. Oh, it's time for your shot. Laying it on your hand. It's like playing with your 8-year-old.
Dr. Healer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
At no point was he like. There's a moment in the movie where they're like interviewing him as he wants to take this like national,
global. Yeah,
he wants to make this a thing, and I'm like, you're dramatically not self-aware of what you're doing, right? Like, this is the kind of thing that if this is your shtick, if this is what you're trying to do, you do this in the back corner of a long-forgotten psychiatric ward where nobody is paying attention to you. This is not something you take on the road.
Right. Yeah, this would have worked a little bit better if you could have done it as a period piece.
Yeah.
Take it back to the 1940s, 1950s. The asylums were more like oubliettes, which where people went to be forgotten.
You want to take it just barely pre One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes, exactly. And then you could have undesirables. You could have, him grabbing people off the streets to be these stand-ins. Mm-hmm. And then maybe accidentally getting someone that's actually important that instigates an investigation that starts to unravel everything. That could have worked. Now that, of course, would take probably a lot more budget than a film like this could have managed.
Yeah. They could work with set locations that were modern and all that. Trying to do it in a period kind of thing, that'd be a harder thing to set up.
No, absolutely. Because this was filmed probably in and around L.A. using standing buildings and, my uncle's a realtor and there's this really great apartment building, that's empty and we can use it to film in, sort of thing.
Yeah, there are probably plenty of locations that don't have anything in it right now.
Yeah, so just uneven, I think, is the best way to put it. You nailed it, because there's a lot of good stuff in here, and it's just some of it's not realized as well as you would like. There's no reason for Nurse Grace to be wearing the Spirit Halloween sexy nurse outfit.
No.
She doesn't convey herself well as far as being a nurse. And maybe in some way that makes some sense in the story, but you still need to convince me that you're giving someone a shot.
There's that. I'm also taken back to like when they first pick up the Jeremy character and everyone is loving on each other, talking about the healing nature of what they do here, and they're self-congratulating one another, and it just comes off super false.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, you assume everyone there is in on it, and It turns out that at least one of the three have no idea.
Right. So
again, uneven. There are times where I really like the Dr. Healer. He is, when he needs to be, he's completely reasonable. Mm-hmm. He's fine. He's talking with people. Or even when he's discussing what he's doing it like, well, of course this is what I'm doing. He's the scariest kind of, murdering maniac because he's cool and collected.
Yeah.
And then there's moments where he's literally like the giggling, hold still, we're going to get you. And like, where the hell did that come from? Was that like day one before you actually read the script?
Yeah, again, going back to the one thing that we could truly say, uneven.
Yeah, very uneven. Is it worth a watch? You could waste your time in a lot worse ways. That seems like a backhanded compliment to the film, but I mean, it's watchable. It's a watchable film. I'm not sorry I watched it. I just
wanted a little bit more out of it.
Yeah, I just wish I could reach in and tweak it a little bit.
Right. And I'm hoping this is a beginning. Like, this director has done this. It's in the bag. Let's learn. Let's do something else next time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be willing to watch just about everybody in the film again. Trying something else.
Mm-hmm.
And the director Suji Paul, I'd happily watch another one of his films. So
there you go.
So yes. So yeah, it is available now. Check your different services for Healing Towers and give it a shot. Oh, pardon the pun. Medical term there. Let us know what you think of it. Please drop us an email, timeshifterspodcast@gmail.com. Follow link in the show notes to all our social media sites, where I'll, of course, share that we have dropped this review. And if you've seen this film, just leave a comment there. We'll be back in a week with a full episode. So until then, thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
See ya.